All right, good morning. Good morning. Everybody knows there's this rumor. Listen, there's this rumor flying around that if Ruben Amorim does not win today against Sunderland, he could possibly face the sack. Okay? So I wanted to drop a quick video to just leave you guys with what I think. All right. We all know the ever reliable David Ornstein. He posted that Manchester United want to stick with Ruben Amorim, and the 40-year-old is not planning to walk away. There's an understanding that both parties know results must improve, but Manchester United bosses still fully support Ruben Amorim for now. And the squad largely backed the head coach. This is the best part of this news. This is the part that I really, really love. It says if changes are to be made, it's not going to be Southgate. Okay? That is something that I'm celebrating. All right? So, like I said, I want to leave you guys with a very short video before the game. And in this video, I want to show you 5 reasons Manchester United should stick with Ruben Amorim. They need to stick with him. All right? My reason number 1 is lack of quality. All right? Lack of quality of the squad. If you have been following Manchester United, which I have been for a very long time, there's no disputing the truth, the basic reality that this squad is simply not good enough. All right? You can demand more of the manager. You can talk about formation. You can talk about selection. You can talk about systems all you want. At the end of the day, the squad is not good enough. These are guys who make basic mistakes from the squad. And I know you might be screaming, well, that's what a manager is there to do, to cut out the mistakes. No. If you are simply not, there's something I used to be taught in school that somebody has to be teachable and coachable. Some people are not teachable. I need that to permeate into the consciousness of your understanding. These are professional football players, but the basic mistakes that they make, you can't polish a turd. You can't put a lipstick on a monkey and hopes that it turns into a human being. That is simply not going to happen. Did you watch the last game? Did you watch the last game? People like Harry Maguire were making fundamental mistakes that cost the team. And everybody has been screaming, bring Kobe Manu back into the squad. He was at fault for the last goal. He gave it away. I was like, I remember watching the game and I was sitting there and saying, this is the guy everybody has been screaming for him to be brought back into the team. The kinds of atrocious, simple, fundamental, basic mistakes they make, you can't just coach that away. They don't have a midfield. Everybody knows this. In the summer, the hope was that they were going to get Baleba from Brighton, a guy who is powerful, strong, good on the ball, can run. But what do we have? We have Casemiro, with all due respect, he's past his prime. We don't have a goalkeeper. And shout out to my friend, a very reliable Obinna. I remember having series of conversations with him in the summer transfer. And I was like, please go get me Donnarumma. Go get me Donnarumma. No, they did not. He ended up going to Manchester City. Because these clowns that we call owners are busy saving money. If it comes to taking money out of the team, they will do it and go and squander it. They live here in the United States. The Glaziers and Ineos, whom I don't even understand if the man has a clue. So they don't have a keeper. They got rid of Onana, as they should. But who do we have? Bayern there. who clearly is not cut out for the job. They brought Laments, a young goalkeeper, and we don't know what that's going to turn out to be. They didn't get Donnarumma. Emi Martinez wanted to come to Manchester United. They didn't get him. So you don't have a midfield. You don't have a goalkeeper. And you want the manager to perform miracle. Oh, please cut me a break. This reminds me of the Liverpool analogy. Remember when Klopp took over and they were playing? Sometimes they would score lots of goals. And guess what? They would be leaking the goals at the back because they had this goalkeeper. I can't even remember his name. Carrios? Something like that. Until now, they decided that it was time for them to spend 60-something million pounds on Alisson. And that has been transformative. So go back to when Manchester United was successful. They had a midfield and they had a goalkeeper. Number 2, player power. Right from Jose Mourinho, player power has always won. Remember when he called Pogba and Anthony Martial viruses? Guess what Manchester United hierarchy did? They chose Pogba over the special one. And that was where their problem started. Since then, there has been dressing room unrest. What these guys do is very simple. If you follow football, if they don't like you as a manager, they will gang up on you, they will down tool, they will stop performing, you get fired. It's one of the oldest tricks in the book. So you better know it. So I am saying stick with this manager to kill player power, because it would have been another manager that they successfully end up firing if they let Amorim go. You will start hearing leaks. They start leaking stuff to the journalists, how they don't like the training session. They start crying about the system. Don't even get me started with the system bull crap. The argument that kills all this system stuff is that the managers that they sacked, were they playing 3-4-3? Were they playing Amorim system? Hell to they know. They played the traditional 4-4-2 that supposedly these guys were accustomed to. But what did they do? They sabotaged the manager. So point number 2, I would keep Amorim so that these guys do not continue to control the narrative and the dressing room. Point number 4, excuse me. Number 3, stability and long-term planning. All right? You cannot continue to churn and turn over managers and hope that you are going to be successful. It's not going to cut it. We saw this during the era of Liverpool. That's why it took them about 30 years to win the Premier League. Manchester United, be careful. I never thought we would get to this point. But from the direction of travel, it might take us more than 30 years to win the Premier League. So continuity will help you build trust. And the culture that is already messed up, continuity will help it. And it will also lead to more cohesive recruitment. If you bring another manager in, he will require different players. He might just look at the current squad and say, these guys are not good enough to do what I want them to do. He will ask for his own money and his own players. Number 4, tactical clarity and consistent philosophy. Bam, bam, bam. Have you guys suddenly forgotten why Erik ten Hag was fired? Well, let me remind you. First of all, he was hired because of his playing style at Ajax. Right? He was playing sexy football. Everybody was loving it. Oh, this is a man who has a defined philosophy of how to play. Ten Hag came to Premier League. 2 games, he was battered. Okay? He was demolished. And he quickly readjusted and said, you know what? I need to get results to save my head. He discarded his philosophy and his playing style and went into counter-attacking football. In the end, what happened to him? He was shown the exit door. That was what fired Ten Hag. Now, juxtapose him with Amorim, who says, I am not going to do the same thing that fired the previous manager. I am going to stick to my philosophy. And you know what? Call him stubborn, call him whatever name you want, call him naive. I would rather he goes down by sticking to what got him to this point. Because if he changes, it's not going to save him. These guys are professional serial losers. You know how Mourinho called Arsene Wenger specialist in failure? That's what these guys are. I will trust Amorim over these players. So I will stick with somebody who has a consistent philosophy. If you look at all the best managers, Guardiola, he doesn't compromise. You might talk about tweaks along the way, which I understand, but they do not give up their style. Klopp at Liverpool, it was rock and roll football. He did not change for anybody. All right? Number 5, which is the last point. He only has had one January transfer in the summer. In the January, he bought Patrick Dogu, and in the summer, he bought a few other guys. Can you really argue with the people he has brought in? The answer is no. Look at Patrick. He looks good to me. Cunha, good signing. Mbuemo, good signing. Shesko, good signing. Lamens, we haven't seen him yet. Hopefully he features today. So we know this game, you die and live by your recruitment. So far, the people he has brought is a sign, okay? That's a sign that he knows how to recruit. Also, he needs to complete the clear out. This is a manager who understands I need to get rid of the dead wood. He's done some of them, but there are still guys in there, make no mistake, that need to leave. The likes of Shaw, the likes of Maguire, the likes of Casemiro, they have overstayed their welcome. So in conclusion, we have recycled multiple managers. If you haven't learned anything for the past how many years since Ferguson retired, is that we have changed managers. The way a woman changes underwears. Okay? What did we end up getting? Nothing. So at this time, we're probably better off sticking with someone. All right? And everybody's clamoring for new shiny toys. I've been hearing names like Oliver Glasner, Xavi Hernandez. Thank God Southgate is not going to feature. But we know how this works. It's like the transfer season. We make signings, you feel like we're going to win the Champions League. No, you're not. They'll come in, the same things will rear their ugly heads. Also, I always say this. A football club is as good as their owners. You can hire the best manager. You can hire Pep Guardiola. If he's not on the same page with the owners of Man City or the guy who coaches PSG, if they are not fully backed, not haphazard backing, you are going nowhere. You're not going to succeed. Finally, there is no obvious replacement. Do you really look at? It's easy to scream for the head of a manager. It's easy to scream fire the coach. But if you do not have something better, you are probably better off sticking with what you got. I want to thank you. Again, remember, Patrick from Sports Treble, okay, saying thank you for listening. Please, I want to grow this channel. I want you to subscribe, share, leave your comment. More videos to follow. Good luck to Manchester United versus Sunderland. Stick with your manager. Thank you.